Welcome back to our Wildflower Seeds Block of the Month Sew Along. I'm Cindy Cloward, and today we are working on block number 4. It's considered a dahlia or a rose block. This is the block that we're working on today, but let me show you all 4 blocks you need to make. You have all month long to create these 4 blocks. And aren't they beautiful in our different colored batiks? So we're going to put those back together and we're going to start to work on this block right here. Like I've mentioned before, you'll need the Wildflower Seeds pattern by Kelli Fannin, but we also have a guide on the Riley Blake Designs website that lists all the batiks that we are using in the sew along. In the quilt behind me there. Isn't it beautiful? So we've got all of our batiks listed. I'm going to put on my glasses and we are ready to create this block. We start out by creating these 5 units. So let's look at these units. This unit you need to make 4 of. Oh, this is one on the end. This one you need 4. That's 4 and that 4. But this particular unit you're going to need 4. That's this one that goes around the flower. So since these are kind of flying geese units, we're going to do those together. Please, work all your blocks together. You can chain piece it. It's going to make for a much easier assembly. I'm going to work on these 3 units together. I'm going to chain piece. So I'm going to show you each block, but I'm going to chain all 3 of these units together. So we're going to start out with this 2.5-inch square in the A, and then I'm going to grab the, let's see, the O right here. Now, if you don't have a Seam So Easy guide, you're going to need to mark corner to corner. This is the flip and turn method. And you just need to put it on one corner like that. If it's easy for you to take it to the pressing station, it's kind of a nice temporary adhesive. And I'm going to sew this corner to corner, but just a hair to the outside. That takes in that room for folding back, and sometimes it's best to do a hair to the outside, or a thread to the outside, as we should say. Okay, so I'm sewing that one. The next unit I'm going to create is this one. Now this one, a reminder, we need 8 of those, but I'm just going to show you how to do 1. So it's the O rectangle, and then I need 2 of the A. And you're going to mark those corner to corner, but I'm going to skip that step since I have a Seam So Easy guide. I'm going to put it on here like this. And again, I'm just going to line that center line up with my needle and just go slightly to the outside. So it's just going to be to a hair, a skosh over. Okay, the next unit we're going to work on and chain piece is this N. So we've got this big 3.5-inch square. We're going to grab a smaller square, this coordinating color. And we're going to need a larger square for the opposite corner. So I'm just going to put that right here. You are going to need to mark corner to corner. That's going to be your sew line. Or again, you can just line it up with your Seam So Easy guide. Okay, let's bring it back here. Clip all 3 units. We'll separate all 3 units. Clip. I'm going to leave this here. We'll take it to the pressing station when we finish the next 2. Okay, so we're taking this wheat piece, this light piece, putting it on the corner next to this other square, and just be mindful of how you're going to sew this. Again, you can mark it corner to corner, and that is going to be your stitch line. Just, you're going to go up this side, down this side, and then this one, we're going to put it in the opposite corner, not the corner next to, and sew corner to corner. And again, mark it or use your Seam So Easy guide. So I'm going to take this to the machine. Okay, let's clip our threads. Trim down to 1/4 inch from the seam. And we can take it to our pressing station. We'll set our seams really quickly. Oops, get our mister over here. Okay, let that unit cool underneath the clapper. Okay, I'm gonna let those cool underneath the clapper, and then I'm gonna work on these next 2 units. Their assembly is very similar. So we're gonna take the rectangle of O, and then this end square, we're gonna need 2 of those for the end square, and then we're gonna take the square of N, and we're gonna need 2 of the O squares. And it's the Flying Geese assembly. So let's start with this. You can mark that corner to corner. But again, I'm skipping that step and just taking it to my machine. Just sewing a skosh to that outside corner. And then same with this unit right here. Okay, let's clip our threads in between. Trim down. And you can take it to your pressing station and give it a good press. And sometimes I, recommend that on these Flying Geese. So let's take it over here. Okay, so let's give them a, set the seams and let's open them up like that. Okay, that looks really good. We just want to make sure we've got that rectangle shape. And now we take this one for the opposite corner, not the opposite corner, the one next to it. We're going to sew corner to corner, as well as this unit too. Okay, let's go sew. Okay, clip there. There we go. Okay, let's take it to our pressing station. We'll set our seams. Oh, it does like to hitchhike on this iron. There we go. And that's how easy it is to create these first units. So we are going to put these out. Now I need to make 2 more of each and 6 more of those. So I'll lay those out and I'm going to get sewing. Let's meet you back here when we've created all of these units. Okay, we've got the rest of our units sewn. We'll put them here and here. I'm going to get out another design board and we can start assembling our sections. So we've got this M that's going to go in the middle, but we need to assemble these little units. So take a look. So those are all going to face in the middle like that. And our flying geese are flying towards the middle. So I'm going to assemble these sections. I'm just going to lay this out so I know. And that little square goes to the middle, the larger square is on the outside. So they're going to be flipped the right way. So the first thing we're going to do is assemble. I'm going to strip piece these. Well, chain piece, not strip piece. I'm going to flip all those to the center. Like I've mentioned in other videos, when I'm doing flying geese units, I always like to put them on the top, so as I'm sewing my 1/4 inch seam allowance, I don't sew into my point. So just bring them to the machine and let's chain piece all these units together. Okay, I'm going to take it to the pressing station. Okay. This is just what we want to see, that tip right there. And since there's so much bulk, the seams will fall down like that. You can kind of finger press it ahead of time. So that's what that unit looks like. Again, we're looking at that tip. I'll bring these over here. I did notice that one of my flying geese was a little bit bigger than this base unit. So that's the time to adjust this. So I'm going to just get my ruler and just make the adjustments before I go to the next step. That's why it's good to square up and evaluate your units so they don't grow too much when you're assembling. So there we go. That's what we want to see. Okay, so the flying geese was on the outside like this. And now we're gonna assemble this center section of our flower block. So I'm going to flip that over here like that, flip over here, and flip over here. Now when I flip those over, I think it would be nice to nest those seams. So I'm going to press that to the other side. And I'm going to nest that seam right there so it lines up really nicely. You don't need to nest it on the middle, so that's okay. But I am going to flip that over as well, that seam, so I can nest that seam. Again, grabbing those bird pins to nest our seams. but I'm also going to pin on the top too. I'm going to pin on that top too. And again, since I'm sewing down here and I'm not sewing where I can see my, my point here, I'm just going to make sure I sew a scant 1/4 inch to not cut off my point. And let's take it to the machine and sew. Okay, let's take it over here to our design board. Let's open it up, take a look, see if everything's in the right spot. What we want to see is that point right there wasn't cut off. Now we're going to flip the outside over. And I am going to fingerpress that over here. So those seams will nest up beautifully right here. So we're going to nest that seam, but I'm also going to pin the top too. All right, let's open this up. It's looking really good. We didn't cut our point off there. These points are lining up beautifully right there, and we just have 2 more seams for our center section. So you can decide, you've got the square block in the middle, so that makes, it's very flexible where that seam goes, but these seams want to flop out. So we're going to push those seams in the middle, and we're going to nest those seams right there. So everything lines up beautifully there. Oh, we just got these sweet little Riley Blake birds. All those points of intersection you want to pin. Okay, wonderful. Let's go sew. Okay, this center section is finished. Let's bring it over to our pressing station. Set our seams, open it up. Oh, it's so beautiful. This is looking great. Okay, we've got our center section finished. It's looking fantastic. Now we need to do the outside, these borders that goes all the way around. So I failed to mention before, the last thing you need to assemble, it's super easy, is you've got these small little squares that you need to make 8 of these units. You just put them right sides together, you know, chain piece, and then you've got this last unit that you'll need for the borders. So I'm going to put this underneath here like this, and we're going to talk about assembling the borders. So 2 of them, you're going to assemble like this. I'm going to put this O down here. You're going to need 2 of those like that. So, and then the other 2, you're going to assemble like this, but you're going to need this outside piece like that. So 2 are going to be like this, and then 2 are going to be assembled like this. So we'll lay them out like that, and that's how they're going to look. And you can just bring it over to your machine and just kind of chain piece all the sides together. Kind of go like that. However you choose to assemble, it's fine. I'm just going to do a row at a time. Okay, I'm going to take these to the pressing station. Let me clip this first. Let's take these to the pressing station. Let's give them a good press. I don't think it matters too much which way the seams go, but we'll see. Okay, I'm gonna put this away, and now we're ready to do the final assembly of our block. These long strips go on the top and bottom, and these shorter ones go on the side. Make sure they're flipped the right way. The points go out. And it doesn't look like we need to nest any seams going on these two sides. So just, if it's a little short, just give it a little tug. So I'm going to pin on the top and the bottom. You can use your glass head pins and then press it if you want to give your blocks a press, but they're lying pretty flat, these. So we're going to flip that over. I'm going to pin here and here. Okay, let's go sew. Okay, I'm going to take it to my pressing station and press them really well now. These two seams. There we go. Just opens that up. And we just have two seams left. Now, the only place we need to nest seams are going to be right here at this intersection and at this intersection. So now would be a good time to finger press, or these two seams, you can take it to your pressing station, and I'm going to flip them towards the middle, both of them. So I'm going to press that toward the middle, and then that towards the middle. Towards the middle. I never tend to open up my seams, but you can press however you would like. Okay, that's flipping over there. So we're going to nest our seams right here. Grab these bird pins. And that's going to fall out. That's going to go in. Let's just line those up. You can pin more places or just give it a tug and hold it on the two ends. Oh, make sure that's going the right way. And we'll nest these last two seams. Okay, let's take it over and sew. Okay, let's give it a good press. Open that up. Oh, I love how this block has turned out. No, it's just beautiful. Okay, let's take a look. Now let's square up. See how we did. Line everything up. Top to bottom, left to right. And there's not much to trim off. Again, just a few threads. Not much at all. Not much at all. And the number 4 flower block is finished. It's so beautiful. I just love it. So join us next time for our Block of the Month series, where we will work on the last flower block. It's a group of 4. You're gonna love it. See you next month.